Hi guys, how are you? This video is going to be about a catalog, a color catalog about the image we are going to paint in the workshop. And this catalog is going to be specific about the color combinations for our image. Here I am getting ready with the colors. This is the raw sienna, the raw umber. They have some water, so I am just mixing it up and yeah, just making the colors ready for future application. This is the burnt sienna. This is the ultramarine blue. This is the Payne's gray. This is the Van Dyke brown. So I'm just mixing everything that is around them, and I am leaving some color that just popped out of the tube in case I need more pigment. But over here I have a good mix of it, and I will clean my surface so that the color won't interfere with my future color combinations. With a napkin and a little bit of water. Another napkin. Perfect, we are ready to go. This is my print, and it is very important to have a good print. And this is Arches paper, and I made the holes with, yeah, just in case you don't have this device to do these holes for the, you know, like for portfolios, then you can just grab your knife or yeah, X-Acto knife and cut triangle shapes, and then you will have this. I mean, you can make it easily, and it is important to have this one for this image because we are going to look for the color basing ourselves in this. And I have this a little piece of paper, and this is going to be the skin catalog for our painting. This is going to be an approach. It's not going to be the final image. For example, what I mean is that we are going to arrive to the final result by adding a lot of layers of color. So we don't, I mean, this exercise is going to help us find the color combinations. However, we are not going to do it in just one brush stroke. So it's going to be a lot of color that will be added in different layers. And just try this exercise as an approach, but not as the ultimate absolute truth, because it is not. So just, it's just an approach, okay? So that we can get to know the color better. And this is my raw sienna, which is going to act as a yellow. This is my permanent rose. This is burnt sienna. And ultramarine blue. Now I will add the viridian green. And because I am going to use just a little bit of the green, then I am leaving some of it out, because if I grab the color from here, it is very common that I will take much more than what I need. Therefore, it is easily if I just have some of it outside and then I can grab just a little bit, okay? So that's a very practical way to use the green, to have it ready outside, because we are going to use very small amounts of it. And this is the Van Dyke Brown, which is going to be our coffee version. And this is the Payne's Gray, which is the only semi-opaque color of all of these. All of the others are transparent. And this is my raw umber, which I am adding right here because it's going to act as a yellow. For example, I will use the raw sienna in areas where the color is lighter, and I will use the raw umber in areas, you know, for mid values, for shadows, where I want this yellowish color, but not in light areas, but in, yeah, like areas of shadow or mid values. Okay, so this is the colors that we are basically going to use in our painting. And I will start with the face. Okay, so every time I paint, I will go from light to dark colors. I know this is going to be the lightest color. However, because our main, our theme, the important area is the face, not this area, then I am going to focus on this one, okay? So, which I see as the lightest color. And I will try to get the same color using the watercolor combination. And this is my, where is my brush? That's over here. And I will take, okay, another important aspect is that I will always have a violet already mixed using the permanent rose and ultramarine blue. And this violet or purple is a very important color for skin. However, it is the same as the viridian green. We are only going to use it in small amounts. Every time you take either green or purple, just be aware to use a little bit, even if the image, if the image seems to be super purple or super green, always use a little bit, because if we use more, then the skin will look as if it was dead or as if it was wood. You know, it it drops the chroma. So only in small amounts. Okay, so this is the raw sienna permanent rose. A little bit of purple, a little bit of Van Dyke brown. I added some water to make a lighter version. A little bit of more purple and burnt sienna. I will see if it's good, then it needs more purple. Okay, so here we go. This is a very good exercise to try to define how the colors are going to be created. And this is a guide. You will see that in the painting, you will do much more mixes than this. However, as I mentioned before, it's a good approach. So this is my final result of the color. my color mix, and I will add the colors that I used so that I can remember. This is raw sienna, and then permanent rose. And as you can see, the color is light, so that it shows that I used a little bit of pigment, not that much, because I am in the lightest color of the skin. A little bit of purple, some Van Dyke brown, and burnt sienna. And I will clean my palette. Okay, so let's go with another one. Let's try and find this color over here. And I will basically use the same colors as before, but the difference is the amount of pigment of each one. I added raw sienna, permanent rose, a little bit of green, Van Dyke brown, permanent rose, burnt sienna, and purple. Okay, more permanent rose, more purple. Let's see. Okay, so that's very close. I know the color in the image is darker, and I am not reaching to that dark tone because I only want to see how to create that color. Because as I already said, it's going to be the sum of a lot of layers, the final result. So this is just an approach. And as you can see, I used the same colors as before. However, the amount is greater. And I also added a little bit of green. Okay, let's continue. I am going to try to see this color to get it. Now I'm using the raw umber instead of the raw sienna because I am starting to adjust to the shadow areas. And I also added burnt sienna, Van Dyke brown, permanent rose, purple. I will add more purple. So it is very practical to have the colors like this, just a little bit of green and my purple, and it makes it easier for me to grab the color as I need it, making adjustments of the color. Okay, so this one is similar. I know it's darker. To reach this dark color, I will still add more purple. However, just stay a little bit clearer. Yeah, a little bit lighter, okay? And yeah, you just do this exercise. I know in the end, the colors will be a little bit different because of the prints you may be using. But this is a good approach to get to know the color combinations. And in the end, you will do the adjustments depending on your own image and the colors you see. But yes, just do this exercise. It's going to be much help. Okay, so basically same colors as before. The difference is that this is raw umber and this is raw sienna, and the color is darker. Now I will go to the lips. And the difference is that the color is a little bit more pinkish and yellowish. So it's very similar to the skin color, but with this inclination to the pink and yellow. But because it's a mid-value color, then I will use the raw umber instead of the raw sienna, and permanent rose, purple, Van Dyke brown, a little bit more of permanent rose, and more of raw umber. Okay, here we go. This one. So it was with raw umber, permanent rose, purple, Van Dyke brown, and just a little bit of the green. Now this color, I often used it when painting, and this is basically a skin color that it's going to be very helpful to add volume and to add shadows as well. And because I know I used it a lot, so I'm just going to add it here. And it was created with burnt sienna, Van Dyke brown, permanent rose, purple, okay. And sometimes I added green too. That will depend on the area. Okay, so now how to reach the dark color of the skin? This one here. Yeah, clean your palette. With Van Dyke brown, purple, burnt sienna, a little bit of green, and more purple. And that's it. Mhm. How can I darken a color? There are several ways that I use. For example, if I would want a darker color of this with a warm inclination, then I will use Van Dyke Brown. If I want to darken it with a cool inclination, then I can use either ultramarine blue or Payne's gray. However, ultramarine blue is going to be my uh, most used option because the Payne's gray will darken a lot. So I'd rather go with the ultramarine blue. However, I can also darken with the purple, and it will give a nice inclination to this purple tone. And that will all just depend on the area we want to darken. Okay, but basically that's what I do. Sometimes I add both Van Dyke Brown and ultramarine blue to darken different areas. As I mentioned, it will depend on the area. And so I got this color with the burnt sienna and the Van Dyke Brown, purple, and a little bit of green. Now, how am I going to get the dark, super dark tones like the blacks? Because yeah, I didn't request any, and I will mix it by myself. I really like the inclination of the blacks when I create them because they have much more atmosphere. For example, this one is with the Van Dyke Brown and ultramarine blue, and it's a transparent black, very nice. So I use Van Dyke Brown and ultramarine blue. Or the other option, if I want a darkest dark, then I can use Van Dyke Brown plus Payne's Gray and just a little bit of pink of the permanent rose because that kind of, the pink kind of makes it a neutral black. And these are my preferred way to get the super dark tones. So basically, this is our color structure for the painting. In the end, when you start painting, you will see that you will do much more combinations than this. However, this is of really much help just to understand the color better and to see how we can create these very nice skin tones with very similar color combinations. However, there is a difference on the colors used and the amount of pigment of each one. So please do this exercise and we'll see you very soon. Take care.